rowing. Let's keep rowing. What do we do?
I just looked at the flowchart you put in. Is there a flowchart for this entire adventure?
Yes, 100%.
I'm glad we didn't get the option that says party loses a fight against the owl, the end.
Yeah. So I think this is a good place where I'll just talk for like 2 seconds about how Mouse Guard is basically a game where you give the guys your little party of mice a mission, and then you as like the game master basically just make this like flow chart where every time they make a decision there is a binary, either they succeeded or they didn't, and that just changes how the game goes as you move forward. Because there are some times where like the mice will accomplish things, but they'll just get like exhausted or hungry, and those are conditions that you have to fix in the actual game. But we're playing Risus. Risus doesn't deal with any of that.
I see an option for party is attacked by the owl out of nowhere, and party has to confront the owl. Did we, by escaping it completely, are we off the flowchart into uncharted?
No, you're still on the flowchart, just not at a part that I wanted to show you.
Good. All right.
But yeah, so you're able to continue your nice little boat trip down the river, heading towards Mosswood. Now, as you guys follow the river, there are some parts where it deviates from the path, where instead of having the road alongside you, it curves off to the south of the river. Or there's one part where there's a bridge that goes over the river, and you have to like lower the mast so you can fit under it. But you're able to use this river to get yourself all the way over to Mosswood. Is there anything that you all are doing during that time? Any conversations you're having?
Yeah, what's the food situation?
It's whatever you all packed. Or if you decide to pack nothing, whatever you decide to leave yourself time to scavenge for.
Well, I can whip us up something if you can man the long stick.
Oh, yes, I believe I can do that.
I'm not gonna risk trying to light a fire on this barge.
You mean you don't want to try and light a fire on the thing made of dried cattails?
Maybe not today. So I'm not gonna, get out my skillet and like make something nice. But I assume that I have enough. I mentioned bringing food, so I assume that I have enough provisions to make a decent no-cook meal for the three of us.
The Scallion
skillet. That'd be reasonable. Now
I can roll my restaurant critic skill to.
Here's the question. Here's the question I ask you: how much are you showing off?
Oh, of course I'm showing off 100% in everything I do.
Okay. Well, in that case, you're trying to do something that'll just wow these your fellow mice, really impress them, and with no fire. That's going to be a 15, man.
Woo! All right, let's see.
A heroic challenge for really and tricky stunts.
Gonna knock their socks off. Come on. That's a 13. So close.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know. You guys can collaborate with me. I think Scallion makes a wonderful, beautiful meal. But after the long day and the scare with the owl, it's not hitting the same kind of like satisfaction and like pleasure centers in your little mouse brain as it would have on a day of fewer worries and less ominous things on the horizon.
I'm just plating it, and it's like a decent tasting, but it's just like it just doesn't look very good. Like the presentation of this meal is such a disappointment. So sorry, new friends, and I've already failed you.
Oh no, it looks so good. It looks delicious. Don't worry about it too much.
You don't have to lie to save my feelings, Lizzie. I know when I've come up short. I only hope you can stomach down such a meal.
I think it's quite fine.
I mean,
right.
as long as it's better than that drink you gave me earlier.
Nothing's better than the drink I gave you earlier.
Ooh.
Speaking of, what is a meal without drinks?
Oh dear.
I'm okay with water. Thank you.
She reaches into her bag and pulls out a little vial of water.
Mr. Scallion,
this one is very
should...
similar to water. It's called vodka.
Mr. Scallion, perhaps we should keep our wits about us for the time being. No, we
Yes.
wouldn't want our best, biggest, bravest fighter to be unable to help fight off another bird if the chance were that they arrive to bother us.
That's very gracious of you to offer. You are big and brave, and
No, that's not what I meant.
I'm already drinking.
Oh dear.
Okay.
I thought that would work.
I don't have a problem. I could
You
stop
literally
anytime
have
I want.
alcoholism. You might have the most common problem in media that exists.
Well, there's a reason it's a cliche.
Alrighty. Scallion, I want you to roll against alcoholic to try and not be a blithering drunk when you get into Mosswood.
Okay, so should I roll my alcoholic skill?
I'd say yes, because right,
Okay.
you're trying to drink responsibly, right? You're trying to
Yes.
accomplish the feat of not being completely useless when you have to present yourself.
Okay.
Let's see. Should we make this?
I'm not going too crazy. I mean, I did already drink this morning, but it's been a while. Just having a. Well, we'll. I guess my skill will determine it. My roll will determine how crazy I go with it.
And mice have really fast metabolisms.
This is true. Difficulty of 8.
Well, I already rolled it, and I got a 5. So
Okay.
just enough to take the edge off.
Yeah, Lizzie and Dunley, as the two of you pilot the barge into Mosswood, Scallion is sitting on the deck, leaning back against Dunley's cart, and he's just been regaling you with more and more sloppily told stories as the time has gone on, and as you all eventually reach the destination of your first day of travels.
As we row, and I'm trying to convince them to sing a drinking song with me. Oh, but I clearly don't know the words to it. I'm singing it anyway.
Oh,
What time is it again?
You all have spent the better part of the day getting to Mosswood.
Okay, so like afternoon.
Yeah.
Late afternoon, early, mid.
I mean, like it's late enough that you would want to start looking for like a good place to making camp. But if you were really desperate, you could push on for another couple hours.
Oh, there's no little mice hotels?
I mean, there's definitely the inns.
Yeah.
But
Could
Mosswood is a weird little frontier town. It's got more like a bed and breakfast, if anything.
Could I use Restaurant Critic to try to get us a place at an inn for free?
Drop the for free.
Oftentimes,
Yeah.
critics. Oftentimes, they let critics eat free at places, because they want to get added coverage.
I might let you, if you can convince me the show that you put on to get yourself a free meal. I think that might be technically possible to swing, but I don't know if you're gonna get yourself you and 2 other mice free room and board just by going, "Ah, yes, I'm here to judge you."
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, or don't we have provisions for this town? We could probably just roll in with the provisions, and the people will be grateful to us enough that
I
they
think
lodge us, right?
most of the supplies are meant for the other place.
it's for Thistlewood.
Yeah.
Thistleburrow.
I guess here's something that might help you understand. So Mosswood doesn't quite need the same level of provisioning or help that Thistleburrow will need, and the reason for that is because Mosswood has been built up along the banks of this river. The town gets its name from the what would you call it?
Moss.
Well, yeah. So it's this, as you get closer to the town, these wooden moss covered walls start to tower out of the river, holding the banks back on the sides, and the town is propped up on top of them. So the town is already pretty well fortified because it's been on the riverfront and it's had to survive being washed away a couple of times already. They're not too worried about this storm in particular because they've weathered other ones in the past.
Friends, perhaps we should just spend our time looking for some way to stay.
The mighty walls of Mosswood are surely a sight to behold.
That's a good
Indeed.
idea. Are we also gonna leave the boat here? Because we've got to figure out, we have to take it back, don't we?
In one piece.
In one piece. So we also probably have to figure out
Awesome.
where we can leave it while we head further on.
Yes, we must anchorage here.
Yeah.
Is there a port in town?
Yes, there would be.
Okay.
We should
the
steer
dock.
We should steer this towards the dock and meet with the harbor master there.
All right, to the dock. One more verse. Oh
dear.
As Dunley, like, I don't know, like, steers the boat, as Scallion is sitting there waving his skillet in the air as like a fake sword as he sings his song, and Lizzie kind of mumbles and mutters the words along to like sound as if she's participating. You all head towards the harbor. The harbor for this town is a set of cranes built on top of the wall, and you kind of go into a position, and you pull a rope that rings a bell, and a minute or two later, some mice lower these sets of ropes down with hooks so you can attach to the corners of the boat, and it gets hauled up out of the water. And as you do so, you meet a mouse with a little like scrap of like a little blue cloak tied around her neck. Looks to be the dock master. And she looks and goes, "Well, hello there. What the devil are you doing out here? Don't you know there's a storm a brewing?"
Yes, we're here with the mouse guards to bring provisions over to Thistleburrow.
Mouse guards.
The mouse guards. You should have opened with that line. It's been a long time.
Sorry.
And you see this woman that seems to be the dock master. She's just really a warm and lovely mouse.
Why do they call them cranes and not herons?
Mr. Scallion, sir, I think you're thinking of the birds and not the mechanisms. Oh dear.
Okay. Well, yes. Well, we do need a little bit of assistance, though. We have to leave our boat here, and plan on our way back, taking it back with us.
One piece.
What he said, one piece. Is there any way that we can leave it here with you for a couple of days?
The dock master goes, "Oh, well, I don't see why you couldn't. Nothing much is going to be on the river anyways. With that storm of brewing, geez, it's amazing. You mouse guards have, or guard mice, I should say, you have a bravery I never could. I'd never be able to. There's too much of a mouse in me. I never would have been able to do what you all are planning on doing."
You're telling me.
Hard on yourself. I can see you have a hero's heart.
She like blushes. I guess.
I go to give her a hug.
Oh.
And I just kind of hold the hug for a little too long. There.
Miss Lizzie, can you please make sure that he's drinking water?
Hey, Scallion, come here.
Yes.
Come.
Lizzie,
okay.
We're good friends.
Take this. It's vodka. It's
we
water.
are good friends. And I drink it. I'm like, well, this just must be fine vodka. I can taste almost exactly like water.
I am an alchemist. I've refined it to its highest quality.
Yes. Dunley will talk to the dock master and go, "Yes, very well. We just need to make sure that we take our cart off for provisions, of course. Could you please point us to a location where we might stay for the evening so we can be headed off in the morning?"
Yes, world traveler skills.
This is actually a good point. Why don't you roll World Traveler? We'll give you the same difficulty. If you get an 8, you'll find a place that'll be able to accommodate all three of you very comfortably.
10.
Woo! Alrighty. Yeah. So the dock master goes, "Oh well, now that you say that, and you got me a thinking. There's there is a place. Why don't you? Here's what it is. Here's what it is, Sonny. Why don't the three of you come and follow me, and I'll go and introduce you over to Marigold. She has a couple of rooms left over. She should be able to get you to fit right in."
You
Excellent.
are just the kindest of mice.
Oh, shucks.
Like I said, a hero's heart.
That too.
Dunley gets his cart and pulls it off the boat.
I got my backpack. Very big.
Should I roll against alcoholic to see if I get all my stuff?
I think we can probably keep a watchful enough eye on you to make sure that everything's off the boat.
I think we got it.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. I kind of just imagine you've got the dock master in front of you, who she introduces herself to you as you walk along as Eugenia. I mean, you know, she's in the front with Dunley, and there's Scallion in the middle, and he's staggering along, and Lizzie is right behind him. As he drops stuff, she picks it back up and puts it in like the other pocket or whatever, and he just kind of is this like constant parade of, you know, like he pulls out this one thing and brandishes it for a minute and tells a story and then drops it, and she picks it up and puts it in his other pocket, and then he pulls something else out, and like in 5 minutes he'll pull that same thing back out and tell the same story again as if it.
How did I turn into the babysitter?
Eugenia, have you ever tried a Bolton Gold?
A Bolton Gold? I can't see that I have.
It'll change your life. Sorry, when I get drunk, apparently my accent gets inconsistent. I run right face first into the fourth wall. Ow.
Don't you worry. My accent is like some white guy who's never been to Wisconsin is imagining it. So, in any case,
I thought you were Irish.
I guess I'm Irish. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, please don't pay too much attention to Scallion. He's a little bit. He just needs a place to lie down for a little while.
Did you call me a rat?
That's absolutely not what I said.
No, here. Would you like?
I'm a mouse.
Do you want some more vodka?
You know I shouldn't, but I can't say no.
Here you go.
It's water.
Mm-hmm. As Scallion takes this shot, you all come up and you see this house that's like nestled into this little ridge. It's got a nice glow coming through the cracks around the door. And off to the right side is what looks to be like almost like a stable looking thing. Yeah, and Eugenia goes up to knock on the door, and this little like tiny little mouse with a wicked long tail opens the door. Eugenia goes, "Oh, good evening, Marigold." Hi. You gotta speak up.
Oh.
And she and Eugenia kind of goes, "Marigold, these are guard mice, okay?"
I try to flourish my cloak.
You get tangled up in it a little bit. They're trying to make sure that Thistleburrow isn't underwater tomorrow.
Dunley fishes around for some coinage.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd have some currency on you.
Yes. Miss Marigold, was it? How much for 3 of us to stay for the evening?
She like squints at you all, and she goes, "Well, since there's 5 of you."
No, there's 3 of us.
Really?
Yeah. There's just 3.
Gosh, I can't see so good without my spectacles. They're around here somewhere.
So you wanted to see a spectacle?
No, her spectacles, her glasses. Do you want me to find them for you?
Oh yeah, that would be great. You kids want something to eat? I've got a stew on the fire.
Yes, that would be lovely.
That would be quite lovely.
I'm gonna start looking for her spectacles.
Okay.
I'll use my skill hiding to look for in small places.
Ooh. Okay.
If I were hiding, where would I be?
If I were hiding.
If I were a lost pair of glasses, where would I be?
Alrighty.
I checked the top of her head.
They are not there. They are not there.
It was worth her that, because boy howdy, do I have personal experience with that one.
I rolled a 4.
You rolled a 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You give it your darndest, but yeah, those spectacles are just gone. As far as
goodness me, I can't seem to find them. Oh, I am so sorry. I have looked everywhere.
Perhaps you need spectacles of your own.
I might. I just might.
Oh dear.
Okay. One too many failed experiments in the face. I haven't looked into it though.
Yeah.
What's for dinner?
Yeah. So you go inside. It's a cozy place. It's got a ton of little rooms shooting off of this like one big central central area. And Marigold walks over to the, or I guess like kind of like hops over to the hearth where she's got this like an emptied, hollowed out acorn sitting in there, blackened with fire, but a wonderful cooking pot. She's got kind of a grain and onion soup cooking in there right now.
Soup. Oh, it smells delicious.
Oh, thank you. I can feel it in my bones. We got a storm of brewing, and you know what that means? If there's a storm of brewing, there should be soup of brewing.
I like that. I'm gonna steal it if that's okay. Use it for myself.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the smell of shallots. When people forget my name, they often call me Shallot.
You see Marigold just kind of like, she just starts chuckling and wheezing. She's just like, shallots.
3 bowls of your stew, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you all are able to. Marigold is a lovely host. You find out that the reason why she's a bit of an empty nester, right? She's an older mouse. All of her kids have grown up and moved away, started their own little dens. But she's here. She loves it out in Mosswood and would never dream of leaving.
Nice.
Cute.
Becca, you should roll Bookworm to see if you can get her to like love you as her own daughter.
I mean, I will. I'm just sitting there chatting up Miss Marigold, learning about her. Gonna try. I got a 12, 13, 14, 15, 12 plus 5.
17.
17.
We haven't even heard what the difficulty was.
I said 10.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Wait. Okay, so you rolled 3 dice for Bookworm and you got a 17.
Yeah, it's 2
holy
6s and a
smokes.
5.
Jeez.
Gosh.
That's the roll.
Okay, yeah.
It's about a 2% chance.
What is up with these high rolls?
I don't know, man. But yeah. So like the night wears on, and Granny Marigold is just sitting in her like wicker equivalent chair, and Lizzie's just like cross-legged in front of her, just like listening to her stories as the night wears on.
Does she seem to have any noticeable ailments that I might be able to have an elixir for in my bag?
Why don't you roll for alchemy?
This was my idea, was I'm going to roll for alchemy. You give me the difficulty. I got 6 dice here. And if I roll high enough, I have it in my bag. And if I don't, I don't.
Okay, I'll say the difficulty for this is 17. Trying to find the odds that you would randomly have an elixir for like being hard of hearing is
Hard of hearing.
a bit out there.
That's 10, 6, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Okay, alrighty, cool. Yeah, so you
One potion of hearing aid.
One potion.
of hearing.
I noticed that you have a little bit of hard of hearing. I actually have these things. I have these little drops that I developed. You just put them in your ear and they help just kind of clear it up a little bit. Would you like to try them?
You've got gumdrops?
Ear drops in your ear.
Oh, I mean, okay, sweetie.
Just, you never know. It couldn't help but hurt. It couldn't hurt. It could only help.
That's okay. She can't hear what you just said anyway.
At this point, this is just part of who Lizzie is. Not very good with her words.
You like stand up and like rummage around in your pack, and you have a potion of like clear hearing, and you have like another potion of whatever, and you're like, if I mix these together, it works. And you mix them together, you go over, you grab one of her ears, and her ears are just absolutely just massive. These just like you just like basically just pick up this gigantic flap. That's her ear. You put a couple of drops in, and then her ears just like perk up, just like bling, just like boing up almost. And she goes, "Wow, my doctor ain't been able to get any of the wax out of my ears. And gosh darn, honey, you got it in like 3 seconds."
I didn't think that was gonna work, if I'm being completely honest with you.
She's like twice as tall as she was.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna write that down. She writes it down in her notebook, whatever she just did.
Aren't you an alchemist?
Yeah.
And you didn't know that that's how that was going to go?
Well, I haven't actually tested that one on anybody yet. I was playing with the idea, so, you know, it happens sometimes, I think.
Right.
So like we get these little vignettes, you know, like Granny Marigold shows everyone to the room they can have, and at the very end, Scallion's been gone for some time. She like pokes her head into a room. We like see the interior, and there's a bed, and on that bed is like a toad wearing these just massive like Coke bottle glasses, and just curled up like next to the toad is Scallion just snoring away. And then Granny Marigold, oh, he got a lot bigger than I remember. Just shuts the door.
My goodness.
And everyone's asleep. Yep.
All right. Sweet.
You guys wake up, you know, Granny Marigold is making some stuff for breakfast, kind of like an oatmeal. And she comes hopping out, and she's got like her tail tucked into an apron so that way it doesn't drag behind her.
Cute.
Yeah, and she just goes, I got you, darling, some breakfast. But where's your loud friend?
Oh, he's probably still sleeping off. He requires a lot of sleep, I think. He might be off to a bit of a slow morning as well.
Yeah, he didn't seem like he was getting up anytime soon. But this looks delicious nonetheless, and if anything, could we just have a little bit packaged up, wrapped up in some leaves for him?
I mean, yeah, we absolutely, honey. We can. I don't know how well a sort of liquidy thing like oatmeal is gonna hold up in a couple of leaves, but
I guess I didn't think about that. Do you have a little bowl we might be able to take with us?
Absolutely. You have just been darlings.
Thank you.
I can let you borrow a bowl. I'm starting to sound like Eugenia.
Thank you so much, Granny.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and then you guys wait at the door for the next 45 minutes for Scallion to get up.
Scallion! Wake up!
Scallion!
Onion!
Knock, knock.
Are you there?
Oh,
You're
dear.
snoring through the door.
He really must have had quite a bit.
Do you think we should go in?
No.
Okay.
I think we should at least prepare our supplies, and maybe I don't want to mess with his stuff, but we probably shouldn't let his state occur again.
Probably not.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, we should just try to avoid this, because it's not going to be pretty if we can't make it on the road. We have to go. We have to beat a storm still.
Oh, you know what you can do?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're quite I thought about this last night. If you're quite the alchemist, perhaps you could create some sort of a poultice or poison for me to use on my crossbows that could help deter any enemies away.
Oh, I wouldn't mind trying. That seems like it wouldn't be too hard. I would probably just have to make the recipe that I already have just a little bit thicker so that it sits on the tip of the arrow a little bit better. I could probably do that. Do you want me to try working on that?
Yes. If it's something we think we could whip up quickly while Scallion is sleeping.
I'm going to run downstairs and go out closer to where we have all of our supplies, where I can set up a little makeshift station.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, as you go outside, you notice the sky is darker than it was yesterday, and the winds are starting to pick up.
It's getting a little...
Maybe I'm going to try and go to a place that it's got a little bit of cover so I can light a little fire and it doesn't blow out immediately. Okay,
yeah, so you're trying to make like some kind of... I guess that's a good question. Are you trying to make a poison, or are you trying to make like a tranquilizer?
Poisons.
Okay, so you're making a poison?
I'm making a poison,
a poultice
specifically
or some sort of alchemical thing.
Yeah.
that'll adhere to the tip of his arrows. His crossbow bolts.
My half toothpicks.
Yeah. Difficulty 17. This is something you would...
Ooh.
It's something you would know how to do, but you're not maybe not practiced at it.
11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Alrighty, perfect. Yeah, so it takes you a little while. You have to try out a couple of different concoctions, and you're doing this in like the little stable area off to the side of the of Granny Marigold's. but eventually you're able to come up with a little vial. You could dip maybe 3 to 5 like toothpicks in before you run out of useful stuff.
I think I did it. Dunley.
Yes. Hello.
This is what I have concocted. As you're using your little bolts, you should be able to get like maybe 3 to 5-ish uses depending on how much you're using.
Perfect.
But you just dip it in and it should just stick right on basically.
Excellent. What does it do?
It's poison.
Okay. What kind of poison?
You know, the kind of poison, you asked for poison, so I kind of made it a pretty like dead poison, the kind that makes you dead pretty fast.
It gives them cancer, and they die in 6 to 10 years.
It's in 6 to 10. Yeah, so it's
6
like
to 10 mouse years, or
it's pretty quick. I'm not gonna lie to you. Don't ingest it. Try not to get it on your skin, probably. And if anybody gets scratched by it, one of your bolts, it'll be pretty. I don't know how to fight things, but I do know how to make that. So,
if you read the label, do not ingest. Do not keep away from eyes. If an eye is flushed with water for 15 minutes, and call poison control.
This is one of those things I don't have a lot of stuff to experiment on, except for like ants.
Oh dear.
dear.
Like the size of, let's see, a mouse and an ant. An ant's like a small dog.
Okay, very well then. Shall we check to see if Scallion is up?
I think so.
But Scallion, you wake up spooning a frog and smelling oatmeal cooking out in the room outside.
I see the frog and it's just, not again. I stumble into the room. I'm like, could someone please turn off the sun?
Well, there's lots of clouds right now, so...
Oh, yes. And I sit down. Thank you. And I help myself to some oatmeal. I apologize about last night. That sort of thing doesn't happen to me often.
Mr. Scallion, I'm not quite sure I believe you.
There's a fraction of doubt there, and I am flattered by it. What's the next step on our journey?
We are to head completely due east.
Completely due east. Very well. And I assume this is where we leave the barge behind.
Yes, we have already left the barge behind. We have gathered all of our supplies and have done some prep. We are ready to go as soon as you are.
All right. Well, I can be ready soon. Just I look for a wash basin to kind of, clean my face off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you can find that. Perfect. Yeah. So you guys get Scallion up, and then you hit the road. The sky is dark, and the winds are starting to pick up. The storm is approaching faster than you all would have hoped. It will definitely hit today.
Okay.
So you all make your way east for Thistleburrow. As you're going along, you get about a third of the way there, and you reach a part of the road where the river, as it's kind of dwindling, you reach the part of the road where the river would have hooked back, and you would have had like a little bridge that just crossed it. Real simple. Normally it wouldn't be a problem. However, with the storm moving from the northeast, the lakes and the rivers that feed into this one have been overflowing their banks, and you see the results of that as you get to the now washed out bridge that connects the road you're on to the only other road to Thistleburrow.
Oh.
When you say washed out, how severely unusable is it?
Unusable enough that we can't cross it right now.
Well, so that's the thing, right? So
We can't ford it.
if you can't especially with the cart, you will not be able to ford it. You might be able to find a way, you might be able to find an easy way across if you didn't have the cart. You could rig something easy. The bigger challenge here is going to be hauling that cart filled with stuff to the other side of this washed out bridge.
Oh, yikes. Are there any trees nearby? Or trees? Wow, or mice. Are there any bushes?
Certainly. There would certainly be bushes around.
Okay, I'm thinking we try and build a bridge.
That might be very difficult. The storm is approaching, and it might take quite some time to build a bridge. Can I estimate how long it would take to build a bridge?
You estimate it would take you probably to build a bridge sturdy enough to get your cart across. You're guessing in the neighborhood of, I don't know, 3-4 hours.
It's a long time to stay in one place this close to weasel territory.
Yes, indeed, especially with the storm continuing to grow closer. Oh dear.
The way I see it, we have two options. Either work on some way to get it across here, or scout up and down the river for a more easier area to ford.
That's probably a better idea than trying to build a bridge, honestly.
I agree. Perhaps we should scout.
You know that the river is fed by its continuing headwaters to the north and is supposed to dwindle into nothingness as you head farther south from where you are. So you can kind of pick either direction.
Yes, I think if we travel south, at least on my map here, it looks thinner to the south.
That should be That should be good then. We should travel south.
All right.
Keep your wits about you.
So I'll stay together and take the cart with us, or leave one of us behind while the others go look for a place to cross. How difficult does it look to like it would be to try to bring the cart with us along the riverside?
That would depend greatly on how skilled your navigator was.
But it seems possible.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely possible. It's a matter of how long it takes, really. Right, like someone who's just bumbling their way through will eventually find a place far enough south that you can get across. Someone who knows what they're doing and what they're looking for will find that way much more quickly.
Does this call for a world traveler or a swashbuckler?
I think it could be perhaps best if I stayed and gathered, protected the cart.
Oh.
Okay.
And then you two can scout further south to find possibly any felled tree, any place where the cart can be more successful, and then scurry on back here, and we will all take the cart with us and cross there.
Is this a crazy idea? Is there any material here that we could use to create some sort of temporary blockage in the river, just to, we dam the river up and reduce the flow for a moment, long enough to bring the cart through? Perhaps with some clever engineering and well-placed dissolving alchemical liquid, we could tumble down make some sort of branches fall into this stream here and block it up, make a dam.
Is there anything that looks like it would be easily knocked into the river?
I mean, so here's what I'll say, right? Any course of action that you choose to pursue is technically possible.
Okay.
Easily making a dam is a little bit mutually exclusive, but you all possess the skills to accomplish more or less whatever you would like to try.
Okay, well.
All right.
Let me first reach into my bag to see if I have any corrosive liquids. Into my bag of alchemical supplies.
I've got a saw.
Oh, that could be helpful. Okay.
Perhaps I could look and see if there are any friendly beavers in the area.
Oh man. Beavers? Oh my goodness.
Aren't those like huge?
They're massive.
I don't want to run into a beaver.
Yes, but they're herbivores.
I know they are cousins of ours, but my goodness.
They're like giants.
Yes, but they're master dam builders.
I'm gonna look through
Perhaps
my
you can
bag.
find one closer to the source as you walk down.
Perhaps.
After all, the river would be flowing that way away from it.
I'm gonna start looking through my bag. It seems like she's about to like almost fall into it. She's got her head so deep in.
Okay, I mean, you're looking for something that would sensibly be in an alchemist's kit.
An alchemist
looking for a
kit.
10.
Yeah, a 10.
More or less, you should have this.
I definitely hit a 10.
I was going to say, yeah, if you didn't hit a 10, I'd be very disappointed in you.
Yeah. I got a 10 right there with the 5 and the 6. So.
Alrighty, yeah. So, yeah, you have kind of every, like, chemical component that you could think of in there. So, finding something corrosive or acidic, definitely it is in your bag.
Perfect. Well, I'm gonna find the closest, most reasonable bush, branch, tree looking thing that might reasonably fall into the lake, the river.
Yeah, totally, yeah. So you look around and you find what we would perceive as a spindly, or like a spindly, but like a moderately sturdy bush. To you, it's this gigantic wooden thing that has a trunk as big around as you.
Okay. Dunley, you said you had a saw.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. It'll take too much time if we just try to saw this thing all the way through to make it fall. But if you saw a little bit of the way in, I'll dump some of this one on it, and it should eat away at the bark fast enough to make it just fall over.
Very well. Scallion, would you care to help me with this, please?
Of course. I'm master with the blade. Saw is a different sort of blade, with your direction.
Yeah, it's a hacksaw.
You got this.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
And we hacksaw it.
Yes. Congrats, you have sawed a tree.
Sweet.
Okay. I'll scurry in and dump my acidic liquid on it. Corrosive.
So here's what we'll say. I'm gonna give you 2 difficulties. So threshold for just blatant success is 22.
Okay.
If you can get over a 25, it happens quick.
Okay. My alchemy dice?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
This one's gonna be hard. Please. I shouldn't have told them to look up probability tables.
You really shouldn't have.
I don't think. Okay, so we are at 6, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18.
18, yeah. So Dunley and Onions, sorry. Dunley and Scallion, you take your hacksaw and you cut in a little slit into the tree, and Lizzie comes over real gingerly holding this glass vial, or like sort of glass vial, and she goes, "Okay, everyone, hold on," and she dumps it in the tree and then runs away real fast. And as she's like, I don't know, I imagine you're like cowering or like taking cover behind Dunley's cart.
Mm-hmm.
You sit there for a minute and nothing happens.
She peeks her head out from behind the cart.
You sit there, it looks totally normal. You're like, you sit there for a minute.
It didn't work.
Well, let me disappointed.
Well, now I don't want to continue using the hacksaw in there because the acid might dissolve the saw.
Yeah, that's why yeah. Well, shoot.
Well, I guess we should go on with the former plan then.
I guess so. Dang it. Okay.
So what's the plan? Are you taking the cart and going down to scout, or is the Dunley staying with the cart as you guys go to find a place where you can ford?
I'd like to stay with the cart.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's go. Let's go forward.
Okay.
Gallivanting through the trees, looking for the quickest way I can travel through the forest. It's something I have some experience in.
I'm following.
Hey all, hope you're enjoying the episode. We had a blast making this. We know there's some technical difficulties that we experienced, so it may not sound exactly the way you're used to, but we're just so happy that we were able to get back together and keep recording that we just decided to put it out. Hope you're enjoying this episode, and please keep listening. This is episode 1 of what will be 3. Next episode will come out in the normal time schedule, and then we'll be working on a review of the system Risus after that. So keep tuned. We're going to keep you updated with more stuff, but back to the show.
Let's see. We want you to.
How difficult is it for a swashbuckler?
I mean, you're just bushwhacking, trying to find a place where the stream is slowed down and is shallow enough to cross. Trying to do it in a timely manner. Probably 15.
Okay. How high do I have to roll to also see some beavers along the way?
If you can get a 20, you will find beavers.
All right. That is... Oh, that's a 13. I get mired in the weed.
Now we're getting bad rolls.
Yeah.
Our luck has run out.
Yeah, so Lizzie and Scallion go wandering off into the grasslands, shrubbery, and marsh. And Dunley, it takes them longer than you would have hoped. They're gone for a considerable amount of time, and at one point you start to smell wood smoke, Dunley.
My little mouse nose goes wild. Oh dear, what direction is it coming from?
It's coming from that nice thing that you guys tried to melt over and to make a dam or a bridge.
I look over at it.
You see little tendrils of dark smoke kind of emanating from the place that where the acid was dumped into the tree. It appears that the chemical has had some kind of adverse reaction over time and might be flammable.
Perhaps the tree will burn and fall down? How much foliage is near the bush?
A moderate amount, but it's all fairly wet.
I'm trying to think about how I could possibly
Use it to your advantage.
more like decide if this is going to be an issue or not. I wonder if my worldly travels have brought me near fire at all.
Well, I mean, like, Mousekind has become civilized. They have fire. However, this is more akin to, like, starting a forest fire.
Yeah, and that's my concern. I'm going to put it out. I've got, like, a little bucket, and I'm going to try to scoop up some water from the river and throw it on the trunk.
Okay, yeah. I think this is fairly reasonable. However,
I don't even know what to roll here.
Neither do I. Because, I mean, like, really, we'd probably have you roll.
If it's something that would be easy for any skill, then probably doesn't matter much what he rolls.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Like, if it's going to be a 5 difficulty for an inventor or whatever.
Just roll the die. As long as you don't go get below a 5, everything will be fine.
Oh, thank God, because I rolled a 5. I rolled 3d6, I got a 5.
Yeah, you grab a little bucket out of your cart and you head over to the river. You dip it in, and the water's moving faster than you anticipated. And you get like stumbled a little bit. You almost get swept off your feet, but you're able to keep yourself upright, and you go and you douse the reaction going on in the tree, and it sizzles at you, but seems to slow down.
Does the base of the slow down or stop?
The reaction slows down.
How weak does the tree base look?
I said the tree base still looks, it still looks pretty normal. Because you all just kind of cut more or less a hole to pour stuff to the innards of the tree, if my understanding serves me correctly.
You know what? I wanted to try to clear out some of the foliage nearby.
Okay, yeah, you can definitely do that.
Okay, I do that.
While Dunley is having fun trying to prevent forest fires, we pop back over to Lizzie the Lost and Scallion the leader.
My previous travels, we haven't been walking through mud. It's really throwing me off. It's hard to look heroic while walking through mud.
I feel like we're lost. Do you know where we're going?
I mean, the stream is still here, so we can't be that lost, but...
Can't be that lost.
It's just hard to move forward. Perhaps we should walk through the stream. We might get cold, but at least we won't have to negotiate with these grasses.
I don't disagree. We can give it a try and see.
You have any sort of warmth potion in case we get a hypothermic?
Isn't that what alcohol is for?
Tell it.
I should have something.
That's a great point.
My bag that I left. Shoot. Dang it. No. Why did I say anything?
Well, okay. We'll definitely be safe. And I go and I, splash into the stream. My little mouse boots.
Little mouse boots.
Okay.
Lizzie is following right along, but hesitantly as he's splashing around, she's like gingerly stepping.
Already. I guess what skill are you using, or what cliche are you leaning on to ford this river?
Bookworm. I've read about it in books.
I read about rivers once.
I've read about them.
Okay, difficulty of 15
Oh,
for bookworm.
okay. I rolled a 12.
Scallion, as you're wading deeper into the river, Lizzie is following behind you, and you as you're trying to pull your paw out of the mud that it's stuck in, you hear a splash and a gurgle kind of yelp, and you turn around and Lizzie is now floating downstream.
I think I'm drowning.
Wait a second. And then my vision goes into ultra focus, and I'm like, a chance to save a fair maiden. This is what I'm made for.
Oh my gosh.
I just start swimming, just full speed down the stream. I mean, I'm gonna roll swashbuckler, but this really is a classic swashbuckler roll. I don't think.
Yeah, I feel like this is a 10. This is your alley.
Yeah.
If you missed this, I'm disowning you.
I got a 20.
You got a 12?
No, 20.
Oh, 20. Okay, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I grab her by the scruff of her neck and pull her out of the stream and say, that whatever book you read that told you could do that was very inaccurate.
Listen, I don't get out much, but I really think that we should just go back.
Perhaps this has led us to just the right place. I look around. Maybe this was meant to happen.
So yeah, you look around and you're in a you're in a part of the river where, I mean, you're standing, right? It's kind of transitioned from an active river to kind of a marshland. So if you needed to get across, you could do it here.
Perfect.
Oh.
Yep.
So that did work.
Yeah, it just took you about 90 minutes worth of wandering.
But listen, drowning is the way to go.
Yes, drown your troubles. I pull out a flask.
No, put it away. No.
Huh?
No.
You feeling cold?
No.
I take a quick sip.
That's it.
Because we still got to beat a storm, and I need you on your best.
Very well then. Very well.
Okay. Let's go back and get Dunley.
All right.
Alrighty. So Dunley, by the time that you see Scallion and Lizzie come back, it's been about 3 hours.
Oof.
Over the course of 3 hours, you have thoroughly doused the tree. It's taken a while for the reaction to slow down and stop, but you have been able to get it to stop. But it's kind of required your constant attention as time has passed. But now that time has passed, your companions have returned to you.
Dunley, we're back.
Well, that's very nice that you're finally back. Have you found anything?
Yes.
Would you care to tell me what you found?
We found a place to cross.
Oh, okay, excellent. No beavers, I take it.
And we went swimming.
And
That explains why you're both all wet.
yes, I think I almost died, but
Oh dear.
I'm okay.
We didn't see any beavers, but this little marshy area should do the trick.
Perfect. Okay. Hopefully we'll be able to cross quite fine there. Also, you should double check your alchemic concoctions because caused the tree to catch on fire.
Oh, interesting.
So that was almost a forest fire there, I think.
Okay. I'm gonna write that down. She pulls out her book and she scribbles something, and that was the vial labeled poison, I thought, or acid. I thought. Good to know. Don't use on wood.
Anyway, shall we?
We shall.
Onward.
And we onward.
As the three of you onward southward, you bring your cart with you, and we get kind of a montage, right? We see you trekking along the river. We see you struggling through a marshland. And we see the three of you shoving this cart through the marsh that Lizzie almost drowned in. And we see you get back on the road. We see you heading towards Thistleburrow. What we see is that at one point you reach a Y in the road. You know this is the last, I guess, intersection before Thistleburrow, when you feel a drop of rain hit you right on the snout, Scallion.
Oh no.
It's about to get wet and wild up here.
We must hurry.
A race against time? Did I hear someone say a race against time?
Yes, a race against time. Let's go.
Aha!
Onward!
Onward!
And push forward.
Alrighty, cool. Yeah. So, the three of you, you hurry along. You double up your pace, and you find yourself in the town of Thistleburrow. Calling it a town is a bit generous. It's a smattering of buildings around kind of an open square. But these buildings are struggling as you have rushed along the path and made it here at the same time as the brunt of the storm. The winds are picking up. The winds are picking up and the rains are coming down. You have made it to the town that you are to fortify.
Okay.
With a cart full of supplies and with a storm on your heels.
Okay. Scallion, wait, hang on. So most of this, like the fortifications, like, am I helping build a wall or like what?
I have left that open to your interpretation, whatever you would deem to be up your alley or what you would do or helpful or interesting. Things you know about the storm, it's going to be windy, it's going to be wet.
All right, here's what I propose. A montage, all right? I'll train the people, make sure they're organized, they know what sort of efforts they need to do to provide aid to anyone if their houses get washed away. One of the greatest dangers of a big storm like this is the water supply, and so I'm sure some sort of alchemical assistance could be of use to make sure that the water supply isn't damaged and becomes poisonous. And of course,
I can start working on something.
perfect. And of course, Dunley, I'm sure they'll need your help to make sure that the basic foundations of the outpost don't get washed away.
Yes. I'll work on the foundations right away. And he scurries off with the cart to try to look at what buildings might be weak.
Ah, yes. A montage where I gather the townsfolk together and rally them and train them from a disorganized group of commoners into a tightly knit unit. It's ready for anything. A classic swashbuckler move.
Alrighty, perfect. Okay, so we'll just kind of go around one at a time. What each of you are doing, and then we'll roll for it. And at the end, we'll see what you've been able to do to fortify this town against the coming storm.
Okay. I am going to try and find some place to set up a little station to start working on some sort of like water purification tablets or like a liquid that we can dump in or something along those lines. Chlorine, basically.
Okay.
To help purify the water.
Did you say chlorine?
Doesn't chlorine purify drinking? Not chlorine. Whatever
Iodine.
purifies iodine.
Yes, but as some
Not for drinking. You didn't give me the number.
You used mouse chemicals to do it.
Yeah, this is a mouse chemical reaction. I mean, I would have said 15 because something that would have been easy, or not easy, something that a professional would have been able to do is now under a time crunch.
Okay. That is 10, 22, 27.
Oh.
Yeah, you do that.
Perfect.
She does use chlorine.
But yeah. So you rig up some sort of like crazy ingenious system where you're able to like filter the water as it comes off the downspouts of the roofs, and then like chemically purify it, so that way this town's water supply doesn't get ruined. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dunley, what are you doing?
I'm running around from building to building, making sure that foundations are secure.
Already, this seems fairly reasonable. I'll give you the same difficulty, 15. You're experienced at this kind of tinkering and under a time crunch.
11.
Okay. Yeah. So here's what I'll say for you, Dunley. You're going like, okay, we gotta make sure these buildings stay here. And the first building you come to, you just get lost in the weeds, right? You just like you set foot at this one building and it's just its foundation is a hot mess. Like whoever built this did not know mouse code, was not a constructioner or a builder of any kind. And you just get so lost in the details of fixing this one structure that you ignore the rest.
Oops.
Guaranteed though, one building is staying.
Yay.
Alrighty, that just leaves our swashbuckling Scallion.
I gather the townspeople and get them to stand in a line. I walk in front of them and I give them a rousing speech. And then there's a montage of me training them to be ready to help each other, like have them train like tossing a rope to somebody who's like pretending like they're like getting sucked away by a storm and being like, no, like this, and like show them how to properly toss it. So,
Okay.
let's see how successful I am to whipping these.
Whippersnappers.
What would you say is the difficulty?
I'll give you the same difficulty, 15. Everything is. This is a 15 situation.
Well, it was a really bad roll. I got an 11.
11. Okay. So here's what happens, right? So you're you get all the villagers to line up, and you start walking up and down. You giving them their motivational speech, trying to whip them into line. Some of the older folk ignore you and go to actually do something helpful, and so you're kind of just left with the kids, whose ultimately really their best place is to be out of the way of the adults. But as you're standing there, you know, the wind and the rain ripping through your fur and your cloak, you're standing there in front of all the kids, basically hands on your hips, and you see the little mice in front of you. They start to get this fearful look in their eye, and they start to like cower and shrink as you continue to give your speech to them.
Dear, I've frightened the pinkies.
And then they give a shriek and they break and they run away from you.
Oh no.
The weasels.
Can I make a roll to try to round them up?
Well, something happens before you can make that roll, and you hear a sniffling sound come up behind you.
Who goes there, vile creature? And I turn around.
So you turn around as you're saying, "Who goes there, vile creature?" And you see this tall, dark brown weasel with these beady black eyes and a little black nose that's sniffling through the air as it stands on its hind legs. It holds a chipped and rusty sword in one hand, and as it looks down at you, it goes, "Oh, it's been a long time since I've had the pleasure of eating a mouse."
Well, I'm sorry, but it appears you're going hungry today. On guard.
On guard.
And the weasel kind of gets this wicked grin, and it snarls at you, and it jumps right at you to attack.
By the way, just in case you're not familiar with the measurement comparative here, weasel's about 4 times taller than a mouse.
Yeah, this is very David and Goliath.
Imagine facing up against a 25-foot person.
1-on-1, it's fair odds. I can take him myself.
Cool beans. Okay, let's see. For those trying desperately to follow along at home, as me, the game master, has just thrown the rules more or less out the window. Combat in Risus.
Combat in Risus is very simple. I do have a couple of modifications that, from my experience with Risus, I think make it a little bit more interesting. Would you be curious?
Let's play it as written, and then maybe we can talk about it later.
Okay. If we do a game review after this, I can drop the beats there.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do that. How combat in Risus works, for those listening at home, when parties engage in combat, they kind of, me as the game master picks an appropriate, like, sort of cliche. In this case, it's going to be physical violence. So anything that fits in that category loosely will work. And then the two parties will roll off against each other, and the loser removes one of their, like, cliche dies from the pool. So they get weaker as time goes on. And eventually one of them is defeated and one is the victor. So okay, I've got my Weasley stats. I'm going to be
very bold of you to come here alone.
He goes, "Well, I saw an opportunity and I just had to take it."
Let me know when I see and or hear this.
Yeah, so you'll see it right after the first round. The weasel is going to attack using its feral cliche. It's got 4 dice. You got to beat a 10.
Okay. Come on, don't be terrible. Yes, I beat it. 18.
18? Already. Cool. Perfect. So yeah, you describe how this first handshake of combat goes.
I have my left hand behind my back and my right hand forward, and I do a bit of fancy footwork as I clash blades with him and shout insults to throw him off his guard long enough to get a good slash across him.
Alrighty, yeah. And he losing the pretense of the sword up at front and just basically just tries to bite you. And as you like do some fancy footwork, you just like cut him across the snout real quick, just like a really arrogant and just like offhanded just flick of the sword.
And I say, my goodness, what a scent on that one. I see you've decided to put the must in mustelid. Mustelid is the animal family that includes weasels and minks and raccoons, etc.
You big mouth buffoon. Just because you use big words doesn't mean I'm gonna stop eating you. At this, the two of you very clearly and obviously recognize a weasel in the town square.
That's not good.
Get the townsfolk to safety. I can take him myself.
No, he can't.
I don't believe him.
I run on over to the cart to grab my crossbow, or more rather my poisons. I've got the crossbow on me and some spare toothpicks.
I reach into my bag for another vial of acid.
He's no challenge for a guard of the mouse guard.
I run up with my crossbow to a reasonably close distance where it's easy to hit him, but also I might be in like a slight bit of danger if he decides to turn on me. But I'm gonna dip one of those toothpicks quickly in the vial and aim it at him.
Ooh.
Stand back, Weasel. This is not your place to be. You must go back from where you came, lest you taste defeat.
The Weasel goes, you see, I'm not real appreciative of you shoving me in the corner. I think I'll just go wherever I please.
You're outmatched.
Is that so? I only see two of you. That seems like a good snack to me.
I changed what I'm grabbing for. I'm gonna go for more so of a very stinky musk vial of like icky liquid
To throw his scent off.
Oh, okay.
To throw his nose off.
What's it the scent of?
So, and what the scent barrier, what is that? What does it do to ward off the weasels?
Yeah, totally. So the scent barrier, how the scent barrier works, is it acts, it's an artificial like territory marking, right? So basically what the mice did is they picked a predator of weasels.
He's a coyote pea.
Sure.
Gross, Trent.
Like it can be what like
It can be whatever pea you want it to be.
we have alchemy.
That's
They can
vile.
synthesize it, okay? They can be fake. It can be fake coyote pea.
It can be
Just in case a coyote ever needs to pass a drug test.
Yeah. Yeah, if a coyote
Stick around for the second
coyote-
episode of this adventure. I'm gonna yell at the weasel. I'm like, this is your last chance.
I'm gonna go for a similar idea to the scent barrier, a sort of musk that senses that spikes danger for the weasel.
Okay. We can do that. The weasel's gonna
Anti-weasel musk.
Anti-weasel.
That's what it's.
This is my weasel spray.
This is my weasel spray.
I got a 10.
I rolled more than a 10. I'm at 21, 22, 23, 24.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so you like position yourself so that way you're upwind of the weasel, and then you just like uncork this flask of basically like you uncork this flask that like this flask is your job, right? Like this flask is what you would be used to repair the scent barrier. And you just uncork it and let the wind take it over to the weasel. And he gets kind of like disconcerted and freaks out for a second.
Okay, I just want to make sure that he seems to be picking up on what I'm putting out there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'm going to take a few steps back. I mean, it's dishonorable for me to fight him while it's 3-on-1. So if somebody's gonna kill him, it better be you, Matt.
Did he do anything about my threat?
He got real arrogant and then freaked out because he smelled some whack stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot him.
Alrighty, cool. Yeah. Because of the poison, we'll say that if he loses, he'll drop 2 dice instead of 1. So I rolled 14.
I rolled a 5.
Alrighty, yeah. So you while the weasel's freaking out and just kind of like writhing in air, you take your shot, but you don't account quite well enough for the wind, and the wind pulls your bolt off target, and the weasel, hearing the twang of your crossbow, looks over you with just hatred in its eyes and slithers over and and smacks you with its tail and sends you kind of like rolling in the mud back into like the foundation of one of the houses.
Scallion, help!
Stay back! Don't you touch him! I maneuver so I'm between the weasel and Dunley. I was saying, face me one-on-one like an honorable creature. I'm gonna attack him again.
Oh, I got a 5, a 5, and a 6. 16.
Oh no! I got a 10.
Oh no.
Alrighty, yeah. You tell him to fight you with honor, and he just takes his sword that's as big as you and just beats your little pointy stick in comparison aside, and he gives you a solid kick to the chest, and then kicks you out of the ground and puts a foot on top of you and just kind of leers over you with hatred. Just, you think that some puny little mouse like you is supposed to be able to hold back a force of nature?
I am a force of nature. And then question,
Answer.
Trent, are you familiar with the
Yes.
card game Bang?
I love Bang. Bang is great.
Are you familiar with the card Fear, which allows someone to restore health? I'm gonna roll alcoholic to see if I can give myself health back.
I'm down. Yeah, if you can.
My favorite Bang rule that alcohol makes you stronger and can keep you from death.
If you can make a 10, on your alcoholic, I will let you keep the die instead of losing it.
Come on.
I got an 11.
You son of a gun.
So I say, I am a force of nature, and then I pull out the rest of the bottle of red from 2 days ago and just glug, glug, glug,
Oh, this is
glug.
the worst parody of Popeye I've ever seen.
Don't try this at home. And then I guess I shouldn't finish him yet. I'm gonna let my teammates have a chance to do something.
Okay, so seeing that disoriented him a little bit, what she's gonna do is she doesn't want to completely use up everything that she has in this little vial. So she's gonna take some and just pour a little bit on her arm so that she's got it, and then cork it, put it back in her bag, and this time go for the acid.
Okay.
So that she still smells bad, but okay, let's see. That is 3 6s, which is 18.
Yeah, I didn't get that. You come up covered in this horrendous funk, and you chuck your like a vial of acid or something. It shatters on his back. His fur starts to like fall out. You hear it sizzle, and you smell some things worse than the musk.
And then she's gonna go run away again.
Alrighty, Dunley, you're up.
I'm gonna run to the cart, and I'm gonna grab a match,
Okay.
and I'm gonna strike there's a strike box that I've made against the cart, and I'm gonna
Is it like the whole side of the cart? Is
not the whole thing. It's like a strip of it, but I'm
Okay,
gonna strike the match and light it.
Alrighty, I like this. And I presume so basically you're trying to use your tinker to fight the weasel.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down. I like where this is going. Full send.
I don't know where I'm going with it.
Okay. Well, I mean, so okay, you have a lit match in the middle of the largest storm in mouse history. That in and of itself is a bit of a feat.
I'm gonna run over to the weasel.
Uh-huh.
And I'm basically gonna try to wave it at it.
Okay.
Maybe fire will scare it.
I mean, sure, you can give it a shot.
How about you roll first? What did you get?
I got a 9.
Okay, I lost either way.
Oh, dang.
I'll say that. I preemptively rolled 4 dice. I lost.
Okay.
4 dice, you didn't get 9?
I got a 6.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh.
I rolled 3 ones and a 4. Oh, I guess that's a 7, but still.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so you strike this match on your cart, you run over, you wave it in the weasel's face, and the weasel just kind of sits there and stares at you. Goes, really? You think fire? How do you think I cook? How do you think I cook my mice?
I poke the match at him. I try to burn his little whiskers off.
Well, that's just rude. He
So
takes
is
a
trying
claw
to
and he
eat us.
He swipes you with one of his claws.
All right. Well, I'm desperate, so I'm gonna try to splinter him to death. But to be fair, this is definitely not a one-on-one fight. I feel like Swashbuckler should have some sort of disadvantage because I'm not fighting him. Very
Stop having any
honorably.
honor. He's 4 times the size of us. Therefore, he counts as 4 of us. Therefore, we're at the disadvantage.
I don't feel like I'm actually fighting. I'm just throwing things.
I don't feel like I'm really fighting either. I keep failing.
Should I roll Swashbuckler at half? Would it be half rounded up or
I'd
half
round
rounded
up.
down?
I don't know why you're taking a disadvantage. He's huge.
You could do half rounded up. Like, I mean, sure. If here's what I'd say. Here's what I'll say.
Should I be losing dice because I've been losing things in battle?
Yeah. So for every situation that you haven't won, you remove 1 die from the cliche you used.
Okay, great.
So whatever you do, it works.
Dang.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if I'm rolling 3 dice, then I'm gonna beat Snake Eyes.
Oh,
A 2. Dun dun dun.
So I've got my sword in my right paw, and I grab his foot with my left paw and with my right foot, and with all my might, I push it upwards, and I roll out from underneath it, but I leave my sword beneath, so his weight comes back down, right on my sword.
That's just cruel.
well, he is trying to eat us.
I mean, touche.
I'd rather not die.
Yeah. So Scallion does this brave little roll. A feat of super mouse strength just lifts up the foot of this weasel, and then lets it come falling down. And the weasel throws its head back, and you hear this just animalistic shriek as you see the point of Scallion's sword come up through the top of its foot, and it looks at you, looks at all of you at the group of, like, the wild eyes just swinging back and forth from every angle that it's been melted, and had people try to burn it, and it's been stabbed and shot at. He just goes, "I will never forget this one," and he goes down on all fours and he runs off.
Best you not with this one.
Yeah. So the weasel runs away, and the winds pick up. The rain falls in pellets the size of wagon wheels, and the 3 of you hurry in to find shelter with the rest of the town.
The one building I fixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody shelters in the one building.
You huddle in there with the rest of the town, and you wait out an uneasy night. In the morning, when the winds have stopped and a thin and watery sun peers through the clouds, you go outside to see just the town has been. It's seen better days. It's waterlogged and soggy. The roads in the green area are more or less just a pond and a puddle, mud strewn everywhere. But Thistleburrow does still stand, and so do its inhabitants, thanks to the hard work of 3 of the Mouse Guard.
Woo!
Huzzah!
Huzzah for Thistleburrow!
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Huzzah!